Hey guys, it's Franky. Welcome to the Think Tank. So, how is your Saturday going? We've got some chill in the air, we've got some rain, low ceiling. So, yeah, spring's still making its way through. So, I would like to get back into Bryan Kohberger a little bit. So, it's saying that he allegedly followed another student. There's also his parents being called before the grand jury in Pennsylvania. And I think that had something to do with the Dana Smithers disappearance and then recently being found. And her sister also speaks up a little bit about Dana and who she was. And we also have to end up the video. It's just a fast clip of Dana leaving her friend's house. So I've been having problems sharing today, but I am going to hope for the best here. Fingers crossed. You're there. Nice.
My name is my brand. My store, my design
Okay.
business, we're exploding.
In a good way.
I'll just
my old
mute
internet?
through this part of it. So yeah, more and more keeps popping up, eh? And you don't know what really to report on. You know, there's so much so many rumors and untruths that are being floated around that a person really wants to do some sifting through it.
Live on the ground in Moscow, Idaho. He was in that courtroom. Matt Kohberger entered a rather unusual or uncommon plea today. We did not hear much from him. That's a big part of it.
Yes, Senator, that's right. A couple of minutes ago inside of this Latah County courthouse, the attorneys for Bryan Kohberger told the judge that they will, quote, stay silent on all 5 charges related to this murder case. Therefore, the judge entered a default not guilty plea for Kohberger, and Kohberger's attorney asked for a 6-week trial beginning in October, and no sides objected to that date. Kohberger appeared in person within the past hour inside of the courtroom wearing orange prison garb, and this courtroom is basically a walking distance from the murder site where those 4 students were killed shortly before last Thanksgiving. Kohberger was wearing orange prison garb, looking extremely alert and observant. He answered loud and clear yeses to the judge when the judge asked him if he understood his rights and the charges that were being read. And today, Kohberger was arraigned on 4 charges of murder in the first degree, accused of stabbing to death those 4 University of Idaho students last November.
So
also
this was
present in court today were the parents of Kaylee Gonzalez.
So this was just what the last court date, which was May 22nd. So we've basically seen this in another video. So I think what I'll look at is, okay, we know that the judge entered a guilty plea, so we don't want anything to do with that. Okay, this is the one I wanted. Okay.
My store, my design business, were exploding. But my old internet was not like.
So this is the one that talks about the other student. Are we going to see a rerun of this? Well, looks like it. So Bryan Kohberger allegedly stalked a female classmate at Washington State University months before he would be accused of unaliving the 4 undergrads in the neighboring University of Idaho. It was a apparent ruse that ended with Kohberger installing surveillance cameras in this woman's home, which he could then access at will. I was surprised to learn more details about the alleged break in and the camera installation. Carrie Rawson, who is the daughter of BTK. If it's true and Bryan was involved, then it's really a sign of escalation, another potential nail in his guilt, said Rawson. So, yeah, he stood silent. He didn't really have, he answered his yes and no's, as we know. And he was pretty intent. So there was also, they call it the bizarre incident involving a woman's underwear, just 3 doors down from the King Road house. I was watching the footage on this and it was like, oh my God, like the house 1122 was just right there, just right there. So it's the most ominous claim. It was suggested Kohberger's immediate family feared he might be the suspect as they gathered for the holidays. And back to that involving a woman's underwear just 3 doors down from the King Road home. And what it was with that is whoever did it went through her stuff and stuck the underwear in the coffee cup holder. So this friend of Kohberger's, they met last fall at WSU in his criminology program, and reportedly she came home to find her belongings shuffled and out of place. They say nothing was stolen, so she did not report it to police. But she did ask Kohberger, who previously worked as a security guard and already had a master's degree in criminal justice, to set up home surveillance systems. That should be a relatively safe thing to do, I must say. But again, as long as he was within the Wi-Fi there, he could snap on. Unreal. So while obtaining his master's degree in criminal justice from DeSales University, he studied under Dr. Catherine Ramsland, an expert on the serial killers, mass murderers, and is also Rawson's father. So they did call him BTK, bind, torture. Yeah, he was lovely, is lovely. So it also says that, like Kohberger, Rader also studied criminal justice, and he eventually found work at ADT, the security company installing home security systems. So it's almost sounding like Bryan Kohberger was studying BTK in a big way, in my personal opinion. I believe Kohberger did break into a young woman's home and then offered to install a security system and cameras and then accessed with the password. And this was actually reported on Dateline. It's a sign of escalation and further descent along the scale of deviation, another overlapping similarity to my father and a sadistic psychopath, said Rawson. And we've all seen this. This is when he gets a little snotty with the cop that was going to give him a ticket. He got his way out of it, but yeah, he's kind of a dick. Ted Williams, a lawyer and former homicide detective, told Fox News Digital that the report is alarming, but he believes the case hinges on DNA evidence. Kohberger's phone pings and whatever evidence police were able to collect after they seized the suspect's vehicle at his parents' house. And of course, this is our victims: Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee. So it says when a seatbelt retracts, there's physical evidence that may be within that seatbelt compartment that Kohberger would probably not have thought about cleaning up. So that certainly says something that I'm sure authorities are looking closely. They did. They took a lot of unusual things, but unusual if you don't know what they're looking for, I suppose. At some point, this guy goes to court. If he has a jury trial, which I assume he will, he has got to explain how that sheath ended up in that room under Maddie's body with his DNA on it. So this was interesting as well. Immediately, relatives may have even suspected that Kohberger once police announced they were looking for a specific vehicle, according to an unnamed source cited in the report. So, interesting. One of Kohberger's sisters allegedly found his behavior back in Pennsylvania odd and pieced together his connections to his white Elantra and previous proximity to the November crime scene. She even apparently floated the idea to the family that Kohberger was the suspect. If his family did allegedly suspect him before he was arrested, I would hope they approached law enforcement. But I understand from long experience how much hindsight factors in, said Carrie Rawson. So Kohberger's relatives went outside to search his car, according to Dateline. But we know that he had already cleaned it once. But they're saying no matter how much and how good you think you've cleaned up physical evidence, I can unequivocally tell you that authorities have means and methods to overcome those cleanings. I sure hope so. So Carrie Rawson recently recounted on the Fox True Crime podcast with Emily Compagno, I think, how she was blindsided when the FBI knocked on her family door in 2005, and she was told that her father was a serial attacker. Unreal. Family members becoming so suspicious before an arrest is a red flag, according to Kelly, the criminal profiler. It's very unusual for someone to begin to believe a family member might be an attacker without good reason. Well, yeah, like I was talking to a friend yesterday, and it's not the typical thing that pops into your head at all. Even if they have the same vehicles, I'd be more interested. It's like, oh my God, like, are they stopping you all the time now? Just kind of thinking, like, that sucks, but I wouldn't jump to it being one of my siblings doing that. So it may be that Kohberger's past addictions, he said, referring to his claims of suspects' high school friends who say he fell heavily into H. And it says that anyone addicted to that grow increasingly antisocial. And it could be that his sisters knew of his purported disdain for women. Well, he's kind of made that clear, hasn't he? Look at how they've got this house now, boarded right up. And then right over here, oh, you can kind of see the outside of it, is a guard shack. And then a porta potty over here. And if he's found guilty, if not only affected them to this point, it will affect them for the rest of their lives. And this is the underwear and the cup holder I was telling you about. This young girl was freaking out. However, police were commonly called to the neighborhood full of student rentals just 200 yards away from the university's Greek Row. So this is just Xana. There's a bit of a party going on. And because she was the only one there, she got to get spoken to about the noise violation. And this is Kaylee basically in the same situation. They are still calling it, basically saying they were sleeping at the start of the 4 a.m. ambush. So he is being held without bail at the jail next door to the Latah County Courthouse. And we should not be seeing him except for maybe the odd motion until trial, I would almost think. Okay, no. Okay, let's see what else we got here, friends. Idaho police address Bryan Kohberger's ties to woman's unaliving as parents testify. So I want to make sure that you guys are getting this. Nice. So I think they're talking here. I think they're talking about this new case, Dana Smithers. Yes, they are. And how old is this one? This is when he had his first arraignment, I do believe. So police in Pennsylvania have spoken out about the possible connection between Idaho suspect Bryan Kohberger and the death of a woman who was found almost a year after her disappearance. It emerged this week that Mr. Kohberger's parents, Mr. My Ass, had been ordered to testify before a grand jury investigating the disappearance of and death of Dana Smithers, who was 45 at the time. She basically vanished without a trace in May 2022 from Monroe County, Pennsylvania, where Kohberger was living at the time. Her remains were found last month in a wooded area, and her cause of death is still unknown. So a source actually told CNN that the accused's mother had already given evidence to the grand jury while his father was apparently appearing to testify yesterday, it looks like. No, 2 days ago. Stroud Arena Regional Police Department has now issued a statement insisting that there is no evidence that Dana Smithers' disappearance is in any way tied to Bryan Kohberger. So if nothing else, that eliminates him from that attack. Allegedly. Okay, Bryan Kohberger's parents to testify in a case. They've done that. So what did happen to Dana Smithers and how is Bryan Kohberger linked? I think it's the timing. They say that he has a really good alibi, but I'm wondering if that alibi is his parents, being that they were hauled in. Families of attacked students prepare to sue the University of Idaho. Oh, yes, it's true. Bryan Kohberger refuses to enter a plea as he's arraigned, and his lawyer said that they were standing silent. We know that the trial date is now for October, and Bryan's sisters even feared he could be responsible for these attacks prior to the arrest. That's the scary thing. Prior. Wow. Unreal, guys. There's just so many tentacles. I don't know if that's what you would call it, but so many different branches to this case. Okay. I'm going to see what else is this one for you, I think. And it is. So this is the last sighting of Dana Smithers. It's short and to the point, but if you happen to have seen this lady anywhere around the time frame, get in touch with your PD.
If you are type 2 and take metformin, well, check your feet and legs for these two things.
There she is. Looks like she was looking for someone there, I thought. She looking for someone? Let's check it out. Tell me what you guys think. If she's looking for someone coming. She looks both ways. Mainly up that way. And then I don't know what the hell that is. So, yeah. I'm just going to double check and make sure that we have not missed anything. I still want to do one on some of the paperwork that has been out. Some of it's been gone through by other creators. There is so much to it that it's unreal. Absolutely unreal. I've got a place where I can get all the documents I want for Bryan. It's from the judicial branch in Idaho. So I basically have from 12/29/2022 all the way up to, let's see here, it's this month, what day? So May 23rd. And we've also got the petition from the Associated Press. Let me see if there's anything here we should go through really fast. So this piece of paper here doesn't tell me a lot. It's just setting the date. So we won't go through that. Let's see here. Okay, we'll look at this really fast. This is going to be motion to enlarge time to file pretrial motions and memorandums in support. And it's done on the 29th. Let me look again here. May 16th. I don't know what we'll go through it. We'll just check it out. Maybe you guys can make it a little bit more. So I'll bump this up for you. Bump, bump. This is where I was getting the 29/22, but okay, May 19th, 2023. Ann Taylor, public defender, Kootenai County public defender. Assigned attorneys, A.C. Taylor with her bar number, J.W. Logston, chief deputy defender, bar number, Elisa J. Masseth, bar number, state of Idaho with the case number, of course, Bryan C. Kohberger, and motion to enlarge time to file pre-trial motions and memorandum in support. They just had a massive document dump. So if they're asking for more time, it would not surprise me. So come now, Bryan C. Kohberger, by and through his attorney, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, hereby moves the court for an order enlarging the time for filing of pre-trial motions in this matter. The indictment for the above matter was filed on May 16th, 2023. Counsel for the defendant filed its request for discovery on January 10th, 2023. Counsel for the defendant filed a motion to make available all records of all proceedings of the grand jury on May 19th. Based on the amount of time it will likely take to receive and review all the grand jury materials for this matter, counsel will need extra time to file pretrial motions pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 12. Counsel requests enlargement of time to file pretrial motions of at least 28 days from receipt, and request grand jury materials and other discoverable materials previously requested. As of the time of this filing of this motion to enlarge time, counsel for the defendant has not received any of the grand jury materials. The review of such materials are critical to adequately prepare the defendant's defense and will cause counsel for the defendant to likely file pretrial motions regarding various evidentiary issues, challenges to the grand jury, and possible motions to suppress some evidence. Counsel makes this request for the enlargement of time based on the belief the defendant will be subject to prejudice, harmful error, and inadequate defense without the opportunity reviewed grand jury materials prior to the filing of the pretrial motions. So the conclusion, based on the foregoing reasons, counsel requests an enlargement of time to file pretrial motions. If argument is required on the matter, defense requests 10 minutes time. And 19th of May from Ann Taylor, Public Defender. I hereby clarify that a true and correct copy of the foregoing was personally served as indicated below on the 19th day of May 2023, addressed to Latah County Prosecutor Jeff Nye, Deputy Attorney General, Ingrid Beatty, Deputy Attorney General, Elisa Masseth, and via iCourt. So, yeah, we'll see how these court dates work out for us. So, guys, that is what I have. So, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. And if you want to be here for any of my other updates or trial updates, hit that bell because I definitely record at different times. So, guys, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.